Thank you, Toastmaster. Greetings, Toastmasters, guests. I love you. Do you? When this was first said to me in 2018, it was by a beautiful woman, so I paid attention. I was confused. Had I heard her right? I love you. Do you? I was anxious. I didn't want to blow it. What should I answer? I think if most of us were asked, do you love you? I think most of us would reply, yes, of course I love myself. But then where do those negative, self-destructive thoughts and sometimes even actions come from? They seem to creep up on us when we least expect it. In recent times, one of my heroes, Oprah, probably shares some of the blame for popularizing the idea of showing yourself a little love. But if we look deeper into the past, we're forced to ask the question, does envy, greed, strife, murder, are they the result of love of self? Is love of self a sin? Maybe it depends on what you mean by love. It is, after all, just a word. Love. Are you feeling it or are you thinking about it? What does that tell you about yourself? Is it an idea or is it a state of being? It would be arrogant to profess I had some neat answer for you. I don't think it would serve you well for me to trot out a quaint quote at this stage either. In my opinion, it's something best reflected on for yourself to find your own meaning that you can ultimately share with someone else. I did just that. I spent a year searching for meaning, and the best I could come up with was something I call persistent existence. The idea that if your thoughts, feelings, and actions aligned with your own existence, that was a measure of self love. And it would be a lonely place to persistently exist on your own. So it's probably a good idea to help those closest to you do the same. Persistent existence. It kind of seems a little underwhelming as the meaning of love. But maybe that depends on your perspective, how much you take your own existence for granted or not. Now, if it's worth having, it's worth monetizing. We love money, but we also love spending that money on our health and well-being. Last year, the Global Wellness Institute tells us we spent $8 trillion on our health and $4 trillion on wellness. Each year they do a report looking at the spending trends of what people are buying in the health space. Just to give you some examples, in this year's report, one trend they have is wellness technology moves to technological wellness, which is really talking about the idea that you can buy all these wearable health devices and download health apps and even buy yourself a digitally connected gym if you want to. But sometimes it's the actual technology itself that's making us unwell. They see the future of being treating like your technology consumption like your food consumption, where people will buy technology where the central principle of the technology is to help with your wellness. Another trend they've identified is wellness coaching gets certified, which is pretty self-explanatory. But at the root of this is the intractable problem with preventable chronic disease. Behavior seems to be the toughest nut to crack. The hope is that there'll be these well-certified coaches and trainers that you can pay for a price to help you overcome this. Another one they talk about is in the travel space. They say seekers welcome. Seems everyone's looking for something. It's no longer good enough just to travel to a destination. People are looking for an experience in nature that leaves them in awe and impacts their wellness in some way, or travel to a wellness health farm resort and learn how to grow their own vegetables. Now, there are a whole bunch of these trends. I'm not going to go through all of them. But basically, the idea is if you want to buy yourself some self-love, wellness, you can. Or you can opt for wellness free and simple. To their credit, the same organization promotes the ideas of Terry Malloret, an economist, who says wellness isn't a shopping spree. There are plenty of formulas for wellness that are simple, straightforward, highly effective, and not really monetizable at all. started me thinking, keeping it simple. Who loves their food? Who's ever tried to change their way they eat with a new eating strategy or diet? There's paleo, there's vegetarianism, there's veganism, there's pescatarianism, there's Weight Watchers, there's keto, there's Atkins. Why are there so many? Now, I'm not here to change what anyone eats or drinks. It's just an observation. Where do we live? Western Cape, South Africa. What's the climate here? Mediterranean. What is the most well-researched, proven diet out there? The Mediterranean diet. Now, when I discovered this, I went out and I got this book, The Cape Mediterranean, the foods we love to eat. And I started growing these, artichokes, very good for you. Pairs well with a Pinot Grigio or a Sauvignon Blanc, also good for you, but in moderation. Showing yourself a little love doesn't have to be so hard. It can be as easy as choosing what to eat and drink. And if you truly love yourself, you're going to want to do it with someone else. I love you. Do you? Persistent existence, the idea of your thoughts, feelings, and actions aligning with your continued existence, has been my guide. Be fascinating to understand what's been yours. Bottom line, you can buy yourself love, but you don't have to. I love you. Do you? What was my answer to the beautiful woman's question? I love us. Let's celebrate. What do you want to eat? Greek or Italian?